They call him the Cup's prisoner, not because he's trapped by silver, but because he's the one who holds them hostage, one after another, year after year, like a man possessed. How did a war-torn boy with nothing but hunger in his eyes conquer Europe again and again? It wasn't luck, it was obsession. It was elegance wrapped in fire. It was Luka Modric, the quiet storm who turned trophies into tradition. So, listen closely. This story? It's almost too wild to be true. Luka Modric's childhood reads like a script torn from a war-torn fairy tale. A tale of bombs, bullets, and broken dreams. Yet somehow it ends with a golden ball in his hands. From the very start, his world was chaos. His country was on fire. War wasn't a distant headline. It was right outside the door. His grandfather, the one who raised him, was taken. His home was turned into ash. And Luka? He became a refugee before he ever learned how to properly tie his boots. They say some kids are born to shine. Luka's light, though, flickered through bunkers and rubble. Even then it was clear. He had something. But the world wasn't ready. Doors stayed shut for years. He knocked, he waited, he knocked again, and then one day they opened. But just when he climbed to the top, just when the world finally crowned him the best, the shadows came crawling back. He was hated by some in the place he called home. He was nearly locked away. Even the Ballon couldn't keep the darkness at bay. That's the story of Luka Modric. And this is how it began. He once said his kids didn't know the full story, that they weren't ready yet. Maybe you are. His childhood home, nothing left now. The walls are scorched, the roof collapsed. Trees have crept in where the windows used to be. It almost looks peaceful now. But don't be fooled. At the front, there's a sign. Faded, rusted, stern. Ne prilazite. Do not come near. Because the ground is still poisoned. Landmines hide beneath the earth. Even after 3 decades, danger still sleeps in the soil. But Luka's life didn't begin like that. No, the beginning was quieter, simpler. He lived high in the mountains, in the arms of nature, under the wing of his grandfather. The old man taught him to herd sheep, to move with the land, to survive, as if he knew time was running out. And then, it did. The war came knocking louder. A Serbian militia swept through Croatia, town by town, one by one. Luka's little mountain village, forgotten by most, wasn't spared. His family stayed. Maybe they thought the hills would hide them. But evil doesn't need a reason. One day his grandfather took the sheep to pasture. Just a regular day. The sun was out, the sky clear, and then gunshots, machine guns, no warning, no mercy. They found him, alone, unarmed, old, and they left him in the grass. The family heard it from the house, the echo of death bouncing through the trees. Hours passed, silence grew heavier than fear. Eventually, they couldn't wait any longer. He was gone. Luka's father carried the body home. Say goodbye, he told him. Luka stood there, not understanding. Not really. That was the last time he'd see the man who taught him how to be strong. They left that night. No time for second thoughts. Good thing they did. The Chetniks came right after, burned everything, and planted landmines around the ruins, a trap for any hope of return. The family ran to the coast, found shelter in a converted hotel for refugees, Hotel Kolovare. It wasn't much, but it was something. Luka's father took work fixing army vehicles. Luka found football. Zadar NK, just a youth team near the hotel. Small pitch, bigger dreams. The coaches thought he was too skinny, too soft, until the ball touched his feet. Then they couldn't believe their eyes. It clung to him like it was enchanted. The trauma had done something, sharpened him. They were so poor they couldn't afford shin guards. His father carved them out of wood. And somehow, through war, poverty, and pain, Luka thrived. By 10, he was already chasing bigger dreams. He travelled to Hijacked, a powerhouse. They saw him play and told him he wouldn't make it. Too small, they said. Too fragile. How wrong they were. Back home, his local coach knew. He saw the spark. He introduced him to a man named Zdravko Mamić, back then just a football agent, later something else entirely. But in that moment, he changed Luka's life. Modric was sent to Dinamo Zagreb, only 15, shared a tiny room with two other dreamers, Zidic and Landeka. A little brotherhood formed, but by 18 that bond was tested. Zagreb loaned all three to Zrinjski Mostar, a Bosnian team in a league infamous for brutality, a place where talent went to die. They expected Luka to fail. He didn't. He carried the team, rescued them from relegation, became the league's best player at just 18, in a league too rough for him. While his team struggled at the bottom, he shone like gold in the dirt. Zagreb still hesitated, sent him on loan again, into Zaprosic. But Luka dominated so completely that the team soared to second place mid-season. Meanwhile, Zagreb floundered, until Luka returned just in time to save them too. With his first paycheck, he didn't buy watches or cars. He bought his family a home. Then came the dynasty. Luka, alongside Lovren, Korluka, Eduardo da Silva and Mandzukic, lifted Dinamo from 7th place to champions, 3 years in a row. He won Player of the Year twice. In his final season, he scored 13 and assisted 11, 1 goal contribution every 82 minutes. The whole league bowed. Everyone wanted him. Barcelona, Arsenal, City, Chelsea. But Tottenham got him, for a then record £16.5 million. It didn't go well at first. Injury, poor form, misused tactics. Just 1 win in 10 games. Critics circled. Then Harry Redknapp arrived, saw him, understood him, built around him. Tottenham came alive. Modric became the engine. Even when he broke his leg the next season, his legend grew. Redknapp called him a manager's dream. He was right. Tottenham made top 4, Champions League. Then came the magical duo, Modric and Bale. They tore through giants, Inter Milan. Sir Alex Ferguson said Modric was the best on the pitch. Then, a twist. Luka wanted to leave. Chelsea knocked. He refused to play. Tottenham said no. 1 year later, Madrid got him, for less than Chelsea had offered. And once again, things began slowly. Mourinho's Madrid was chaos. Luka was benched, out of position. The press mocked him, called him the worst signing of the season. But he rose, assisted in El Clasico, scored against Manchester United. When Ancelotti arrived, Luka didn't just belong, he was essential, a mastermind. The bridge between defence and magic. La Decima arrived, Modric was everywhere. Assist in the final, a heartbeat in history. Still, no Ballon d'Or nod. Injury came. He missed 4 months. Real won nothing without him. Then Zidane arrived. The pieces fell into place. Real became unstoppable. Champions League after Champions League. Zidane called him a master of the game, the player that made it all work. Finally, a Ballon d'Or nomination. Just 1 point. But more was coming. So now you know, Luka Modric isn't just a footballer. He's a survivor, a boy who rose from ashes, a shepherd who became a king. And this was just the beginning, but also earned him the recognition he had been silently deserving all along. The quiet conductor of symphonies no one knew they were hearing until he stopped playing. By now, Luka Modric wasn't just a midfield magician, he was the calm in every storm, the clock in a room full of chaos, ticking perfectly in rhythm while others scrambled to find the beat. Then came the 2017-18 season, and what a year it would be. Madrid, already kings of Europe twice under Zidane, were now chasing immortality. And in that quest, Modric's role only grew bigger. He was no longer just the metronome, he was the soul. In every big match, when the lights got too bright for others, Modric became clearer, sharper, colder. The bigger the pressure, the better he played. And when Madrid completed the three-peat, winning their 3rd straight Champions League, there was no more denying it. Luka Modric was a giant among men. But if you thought that was the end of it, well, the summer had other plans. Russia 2018, the World Cup, Croatia, a country with barely 4 million people, dared to dream. And leading them? A boy who had once slept in war shelters, now marching through football's biggest battlefield, completely unfazed. He didn't just lead with words, he led with every pass, every run, every tackle. Modric played like a man possessed, like every moment on that field was stitched together from the broken pieces of his childhood. Croatia beat Argentina. They beat Russia. They beat England. Modric didn't just shine, he burned. And though they fell to France in the final, the world had seen enough. FIFA handed him the golden ball, the best player of the tournament, a symbol not just of skill, but of resilience, leadership, pain and beauty wrapped into one. And then, something unthinkable happened. He won the Ballon d'Or. Yes, Modric, the refugee boy, the shepherd's grandson, the too skinny kid, the worst signing of the season. In a world ruled by Messi and Ronaldo, Modric cracked the throne and sat on it, quietly, deservedly. But not everyone celebrated. Back home, not all were smiling. That's the strange thing about greatness. It doesn't always come with applause. Some questioned him, accused him, dragged his name through the mud over legal troubles tied to the man who had once believed in him, Zdravko Mamić. Even in his brightest moment, the shadows of the past loomed tall. But Luka, he didn't lash out. He didn't beg for understanding. He just kept playing like he always had, with quiet vengeance. And the story didn't fade there. Even after the Ballon d'Or, Modric kept going, aging like wine, not just surviving, but thriving. Season after season, Zidane or no Zidane, Real Madrid kept climbing, and at the centre of it all, that same kid from Zadar, Champions League number 14, he was there. World Cup 2022, he was there too, still leading, still gliding past midfielders half his age, still wearing the armband, still making it look easy, even when it was anything but. They called him timeless, they called him eternal. But deep down, he was still just Luka, the boy who refused to break. And that is the story of Luka Modric. Unbelievable, isn't it?